The Angels win a baseball game at home. I think that's all you need to hear to be excited for tonight's edition of the Locked On Angels Postcast.
You are Locked On Angels Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Los Angeles, on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Just like the intro told you, this is the Locked On Angels Postcast coming at you live, as always, after every single Angels game here on the Locked On Los Angeles YouTube channel. And today, folks, like I said, we come on live after every single game, but we rarely come on live after a win. The Angels open up 2-9 in the history of the postcast era, but they pick up the rare home win thanks to some late inning magic, thanks to some fantastic work in the field from Zach Neto, and thanks to Jo Adell and Carlos Estevez? What? Miracles happen, folks. Hello, Halo Nation. Hello, Halo hopefuls, and welcome to the Locked On Angels Postcast. On today's show, we will talk about a thrilling 2-1 win, which included a stellar start from Tyler Anderson, the lack of run support, as always, for our Angels, but today, it didn't matter because the bullpen came through and late inning magic at the plate came through. We will discuss that, and we will discuss Ron Washington getting this one absolutely right, in my opinion. I haven't said that a lot in the history of the postcast, but tonight I'm saying it. I think he got just about everything right. But before we do, a couple quick comments. First and foremost, shout out to everybody in here, specifically Mr. Anaheim Angel, who has been in here, I think, the last 4 or 5 postcasts in a row. And today he says, so happy for the home win. And absolutely, because coming into this one, the Angels were just 7-21 at home. Woo! But they pick up their 8th win at home thanks to a 2-1 victory. So shout out to Anaheim Angel for being in here. One more time, shout out to you. Shout out to everybody in here. Leave a comment, leave a like as always. Leave a comment if you're excited about the rare Angels win as they snap a 5-game losing streak in the series opener against the Padres. Before we jump into this one, a quick shout out to today's sponsor, Supply House. SupplyHouse.com is the reliable way to get parts fast. Shop your next plumbing, HVAC, or electrical job and get fast shipping from coast to coast at SupplyHouse.com. And with all that being said, let's jump into this one. I feel like I'm on caffeine or something. I am buzzing because rarely have we seen the Angels come through really at all, but especially at home. And we finally saw that tonight, thanks in large part due to Tyler Anderson. And that's where I want to start this one, because it's no secret that Anderson has been really heating up as of late. It's no secret that he is one of the best off-speed pitchers in all of Major League Baseball. I didn't know this until today, but actually the slowest fastball in all of Major League Baseball in terms of starting pitching. At least that's what they said on the broadcast. And Tyler Anderson today was actually using the fastball a lot more than normal. I think at one point around the late 5th inning, he was at more than 50% of his pitches being fastballs, despite coming into this one just 39% of the time throwing the fastball. And what makes me so excited about this performance from him is he just trusted the scouting report coming in. Tyler Anderson really successful against the Padres hitters coming into this one in his career. Just a 1.93 batting average for the Padres hitters coming into this game. And I don't know, to be honest, if in those previous starts it's because he was using the fastball, but he relied on it a lot more in this one, and it worked to his favor. He also got a lot of help from his field players, and we will certainly talk about that because without a couple fantastic relays from Zach Neto, I don't think he comes through I don't think he leaves this outing as well as he did. But really, really proud of Tyler Anderson working in the fastball throughout this one. Of course, he's going to use the changeup. He's going to use the slider, but it was the fastball and just using it more than normal that I think was the key. There was, of course, the lone run in this one for the Padres, a solo shot from Manny Machado. The game did not start well for Tyler Anderson because Manny Machado, just the 3rd at bat of the game with nobody on and 2 outs, he absolutely was fire, or Machado absolutely crushed this one. In a 1-2 count, he gets a 4-seam fastball right down the middle, a big mistake from Tyler Anderson. And boy, did Machado take advantage. 112.9 exit velo. That's easily the highest I've seen since we've started the postcast. 112.9. And he hit it 438 feet, absolutely destroyed it to left center, and the Angels are suddenly down 1-0 early. I've said it on, I think, every single show at this point that I really feel bad for Angel starters because they get so much flack. We know there's not any big names in that rotation. We know how shaky the rotation has been at times. Detmer is obviously being sent down to AAA recently. We know that Sandy's been very on and off, especially at home. Tyler Anderson's been great as of late, and there's just so much pressure coming into every single game with the Angels lineup as bad as it is. But even after giving up this home run, Anderson was able to settle down. He got a lot of help from his fielders, and that's exactly what Sega Boy W, shout out to you who you are regularly in here. That's what he says. Fundamentals were on display tonight, and certainly they were, because it's not like Tyler Anderson was not giving up hits. He gave up 5 hits, which certainly isn't a lot, but a couple extra base hits and a couple plays in the field saving Anderson to some degree. I think this is the rare time where you think the Angels defense saved runs tonight. You never think that the Angels are going to do that with so many young guys out there or so many defensive liabilities, but not once, but twice. Zach Neto with fantastic relay throws to throw out aggressive Padres base runners. And it started in the second inning because in the second, Mr. Kim at shortstop, well, normally at shortstop in the field, of course, but hitting, Kim absolutely rips one, a ground ball to left field, and Taylor Ward, what are you doing, bro? Taylor Ward continues to be super shaky in the field. And he, not only in this one, but in the more impressive play from Zach Neto in this one, which we'll talk about later, both times, Taylor Ward showing a lack of competence in left field. This one, a ground ball that Ward just absolutely biffs. Shouldn't even be a triple attempt from Kim, but Ward bobbles the ball in left field, gets a late throw into Neto, and Neto throws out Kim at third. Kim had no business attempting to go to third, but when you see a guy like Taylor Ward out there in left field, I don't blame you for wanting to run on him. Not only does he have a noodle arm, but apparently he can't field the ground ball. And so he biffs the ground ball in left field, and that makes Kim want to go to third. Fortunately for Anderson, fortunately for our Angels, Neto multiple times in this game was great on the relay, and he's able to turn a weak Taylor Ward throw after a weak fielding attempt into a throw out at third. And that's huge because after a home run in the first inning, Tyler Anderson, you know, like I keep saying, the amount of pressure that the Angels starting pitcher has to deal with the lack of run support. And you've already given up a run in the first on a home run. Now with one out, you give up a leadoff double that could be a leadoff triple. It could spiral into a bad outing for Tyler Anderson. But fortunately, the Angels get lucky, and a mistake from Ward turns into a greater mistake from Kim and a great play from Zach Neto. Good tag from Rengifo. And what should be runner on second with one out, or if the relay's not good, runner on third with one out and an obvious sac fly attempt. Instead, it's bases empty with 2 outs, and of course, Anderson's able to get out of that one. But that wasn't the only great play. That was not the only great play. Zach Neto was just getting started. Not only did he also have a great backhand deep in the hole at shortstop with it, and then he turns it into a tough throw at first, showing off the arm a little bit there. Good to see that the elbow's feeling okay. But then the play of the game, arguably, in the 6th inning. Because once again, there's a line drive into left field, and once again, there's a lack of competence from Taylor Ward. And you might think I'm being too aggressive with Taylor Ward on this one, but I'm sorry. Maybe it's just me, but he looks like he's walking to the ball. Like, maybe the second inning play was already in his head of him making a mistake and not stopping the first one, biffing it completely, and maybe it was in his head because he did not even make an attempt to cut off the Fernando Tatis line drive down the left field line. I don't get it. Like, we know you're not a great fielder, but have some effort, bro. Act like you care. Just so you know what we're talking about, top of the 6th, after a leadoff ground out, Jurickson Profar walks, and then Tatis rips a double down the left field line. And like I just said, instead of Ward making an attempt to cut it off, I don't know if he cuts it off, okay? I don't know. But in a close game, you would love to see your left fielder act like he cares a little bit and try to make an attempt to cut it off or maybe get it closer off the wall. But he doesn't. He walks, he jogs to the ball, lets it hit the wall, come back to him, still takes his time on the throw. Once again, I don't think there's Profar has any business trying to stretch it and go from first to home. But when he sees Taylor Ward, he thinks, wait, this is a great chance. And so ironically, the lack of confidence from Taylor Ward in left field benefits the Angels twice, as once again, Ward throws it to Neto, and Neto makes another great relay. Now, albeit the throw was offline, which is why I say the young guys get it done. Got to give some credit to Logan O'Hoppe for doing a good job, coming well off home plate, grabbing the ball, and making the diving tag on Profar. But nonetheless, Zach Neto deserves a ton of credit for turning 2 noodle arm throws from Taylor Ward into 2 relay outs. And so Profar gets thrown out at home, and what should be a 2-1 Padres lead is instead a 1-1 game at the time. So when we come back, we're going to take our first quick break. When we come back, we'll tell you how the Angels ended up getting that key second run, but just had to shout out the Tyler Anderson start and the assists he received thanks to several great plays from Zach Neto and company in the field. We're going to take our first quick break here on the Locked On Angels Postcast. The Angels win a baseball game at home. They've only done it 8 times now in 2024, so when they do, you got to party. We're going to keep the party going on tonight's edition of the Locked On Angels Postcast after we take our first quick break. Today's show is brought to you once again by Supply House. Get supplies from the site that's made for the skilled trades, supplyhouse.com. Supplyhouse.com is the reliable way to order plumbing, HVAC, and electrical products online. Their easy to use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Shop a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from over 400 top brands, and get your order delivered right to your door with fast shipping from coast to coast. Need help with an order? Get expert support and industry-leading service from the friendliest folks in the business. And here's the key, folks. Talk to a real person every time. Gosh, I love that. Pros in the skilled trades can also get a competitive edge by joining Supplyhouse.com's free Trade Master program. Every Trade Master gets access to a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Join the thousands of trade pros already benefiting from their free membership at supplyhouse.com/TM and order plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies from anywhere with just a few clicks at supplyhouse.com. Once again, you're listening to the Locked On Angels Postcast coming at you live on the Locked On Los Angeles YouTube channel. And just for the third time in 12 postcasts, the Angels win a baseball game. And just the 8th time at home in all of 2024. Shout out to everybody in here. Anaheim Angel, once again, shout out to you. Sega Boy W, shout out to you. And Jake, back again, says, Padres third base coach had different... Yeah, a little bit. 2 very questionable decisions. To be fair, I think on the Kim one, I think that's all on Kim deciding to go to third. He saw Taylor Ward biff the ball and thought, hey, it's Taylor Ward in left field. Why not? But certainly on the Profar wave home that we just discussed, questionable decision to send Profar home. And even with Taylor Ward absolutely jogging to the ball in left field, the relay from Neto is able to get Profar out by a mile, to be honest. So, yeah, certainly the Padres third base coach assisting our Angels tonight. We already discussed Tyler Anderson with a solid start. Just to clarify what the final stat line for Tyler Anderson is after this one: 6 2/3, 5 hits, 1 run earned. He did have 3 walks. He did only have 2 strikeouts, and he did give up the solo shot to Manny Machado. But I am going to take that pitching performance from any Angels starter, including Tyler Anderson, every single time. And it was actually for once supported by some runs, and not many for the Angels, but they did get just enough thanks to a run in the 4th inning and then the run in the 8th. If you did not watch this one, I'll quickly tell you how the Angels got both of those runs. In the bottom of the 4th, after a Nolan Schanuel leadoff ground out, Luis Rengifo continues to get at least 1 hit in every single game, and he gets a 1-out single. He steals second base. Taylor Ward flies out, and then Willie Calhoun in the cleanup spot against the righty. We'll talk about the lineup a little later. Did not love that Pilar was not in there. You know that I like seeing Kevin Pilar in the lineup. But Willie Calhoun continues to be the cleanup hitter against righties, and he gets it done here because Rengifo on second with 2 outs, and Willie Calhoun a 2-out single on a ground ball up the middle. In a 1-2 count, by the way, he gets the knuckleball, and I haven't even mentioned it yet. Angels going against a knuckleballer today. I don't know how I didn't mention it because it felt like the entire game on the radio broadcast and the TV broadcast, all they were talking about was the fact that Matt Waldron, the Padres starting pitcher, threw the knuckleball. To be fair, once again, it was another Angel game where there wasn't much excitement throughout most of this one. And so you're just hearing a lot of stuff about the history of knuckleballers in Major League Baseball. But that's why I didn't really know what to expect from the Angels in this one, this Angel lineup. You kind of always expect them to not hit the ball well, but no history between Waldron and the Angels, and no real, experience from the Angels lineup in terms of going against the knuckleball, at least in recent games. And so I didn't know what to expect, and we kind of got what I expected, a minimal performance from the offense per usual, but it was enough because not only does Willie Calhoun get the RBI to tie the game at 1, but then after multiple errors by the Padres base runners that I've already discussed, all the way in the 8th inning, all the way after more solid relieving from Hunter Strickland, who continues to be great, he gets the win in this one. But thanks to great bullpen play once again, game stays tied all the way to the bottom of the 8th inning. And that's when, of all people in the Angel lineup, of all people, Jo Adell gets things started. He gets a lead-off double and an interesting at-bat, honestly, because he gets 2 fastballs to start. And we know how much better Adell is against lefties. And we know that his grand slam, kind of the only good thing he's done in recent times, was against a hanging slider in a 2-strike count. And he kind of got a similar thing here because down 1-2, he gets, I don't want to say a hanging sweeper, but kind of a hanging sweeper. And he's able to rip it for a lead-off double. And that was huge because then the Angels do something they have not done much in 2024, and that's with a runner in scoring position actually getting the job done. Calhoun did it earlier, but in this one, lead-off double. Questions on whether the Angels were going to bunt. They do not bunt, but Zach Neto luckily flies out to right field and is able to advance Jo Adell to third. Then the Padres make a pitching change. Then the Angels respond with a pinch hitter. And that's one of the reasons I'm going to say Ron Washington got it right tonight, was because he made the pretty obvious decision of getting Kyron Paris out when you need a clutch hit. No offense to Kyron Paris. He's a young guy. Should arguably not be in Major League Baseball right now, but I don't think anybody expected Kyron Paris to get the job done, and so smartly, Wash takes him out for Luis Guillerme, and Luis Guillerme, a veteran who is not a world beater to any degree, but he's a veteran who knows what is needed. And with Adell on third and 1 out, he takes a splitter high and away, and he's able to hit it deep enough into center field, 335 feet, to easily score Jo Adell and put the Angels up 2-1. How good this must feel for Jo Adell. How good it must feel, because we know how bad he's been. We know he's been striking out basically every single time he faces a righty. Shocker, when he faces a lefty, he gets the job done. I'm not surprised one bit. And sure, still a 1 for 3, only a 1 for 3, still hitting 204, but the decisive leadoff double in the 8th inning and the decisive run. So thank goodness Jo Adell able to get something going. Thank goodness it was all that was needed because of not only great pitching from Tyler Anderson, but from the entire Angels bullpen. Because not only does Anderson go 6 2/3, only giving up a run, certainly got some help from the fielders as we've already discussed, but then Hunter Strickland comes in and does what he has done in all of. Yes, he gave up a hit, but just a single hit. An inning and a third with just that 1 hit and that 1 walk. Of course, no runs. And he now has a 1.75 ERA. And oh man, the Angels are going to turn Hunter Strickland into some prospects in a month. I can't wait to see it. They better do it. Because as we know, the Angels are still not playing for anything. Don't let this win fool you. But Hunter Strickland, phenomenal once again. And he's rewarded with the win on the stat sheet. Now 2-1. With a 1.75 ERA. Wow, that is good. But not only Hunter Strickland, and as Jake perfectly times, we got to talk about Mr. Estevez. Refreshing outing by Estevez tonight. Good to see him back on form. Yes, we know how bad he's been at times. We know how bad he has been. But he gets his 9th save thanks to a easy top of the 9th inning. I mean, easy. Probably one of the easiest saves we've seen from Estevez in 2024, and it feels so good. because not only Strickland, I still think Estevez is a guy that the Angels should think about trading come the trade deadline. He's an older reliever. It's not like he's anything amazing, but some team that needs bullpen support could afford to not put Estevez as their closer, but maybe be the setup guy. I don't know. In the top of the ninth, he made it look pretty easy. He strikes out Kim on 4 pitches, 2 strikes to start off the at-bat. He's throwing a lot of high pitches, which I don't know if that's intentional or not, but gets 3 high strikes, 2 of them swinging, or one of them swinging, to strike out Kim to lead off the ninth, then a quick ground out from Jackson Merrill, and then a ground out from Tyler Wade. One more thing I'll say before we take our second break is that this is a really good pitching performance given the context of the Padres. The Padres leading the entire league, or all of Major League Baseball, in batting average, but the key thing is specifically on the road. At home, hitting 220-something, only 26th in Major League Baseball, but on the road, they're hitting 295, by far the best road average in baseball. And so that's what we were expecting today. At least I was. I had confidence in Tyler Anderson. We'll get to my prize pick slip later because I actually lost because he pitched so well. But I think nobody expected the Padres to be shut down the way they were, given being the best road hitting team in all of Major League Baseball. And that's what makes this win so sweet. So not only did Tyler Anderson get the job done, but the bullpen did really well to keep the Padres at just 1 run in this one. Before we take our last break here, Sega Boy W saying Neto deserves gold glove considerations as well as Anderson. I mean, Neto, you always knew it was in him. And it's what Wash has said all season is that, hey, the bat's great. If he's hitting 250 or something like that, we'll take it. But it's all about the glove at shortstop. And we know there's not much depth there. We know Karen Paris has made a couple questionable plays, and we know that's all we really have there at shortstop otherwise. But yeah, I mean, not only the 2 relays today, but the backhand play and the great throw at first, and all despite him having elbow issues that luckily we haven't had to talk about a lot recently, but he did miss a game, a week and a half ago, something like that, because of that right elbow soreness. So able to show off the arm 3 times in this one, despite him certainly not being 100% there. So yes, certainly good to see that. We're going to take our last break here on the Locked On Angels Postcast. Washington got it right tonight on today's Ron's report card. Even though at first I was questioning it a little bit, he got it done. So we'll talk about that after our last break here. You're listening to the Locked On Angels Postcast. Today's show is brought to you by Prize Picks. Now, it's no secret I love Prize Picks, but did you know with Prize Picks you could turn $10 into $1,000 in a single game, all while watching your favorite sports this summer? That's right. You can make a Prize Picks lineup in as little as 60 seconds. You just need to pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stats projections, and you're locked in. If you're looking for promotions, Prize Picks has got you covered every week. From lowering select player stats projections on Tuesdays, which increases your chances of getting a win, to getting your entry fees back if you have a losing lineup on Fridays, Prize Picks has you with promotions. And if you don't know what the heck I just said, I'll explain it to you a little more. Basically, if on a Tuesday, they're going to give you an assist, right? If normally Manny Machado, for example, is expected to get 2 hits, so the over-under is 1.5, the more or less is 1.5, maybe they'll lower it to 0.5 on a Tuesday, giving you more favorable chances to win. And then on Friday, you get basically a free slip, up to $20. If you lose, you get back. So join me and 5 million other members using Prize Picks and, have a great time, because I certainly do. It's a lot of fun, and you can have fun in other ways too. But Prize Picks gives you the promos, and that's what makes it the best place for fantasy sports. So join me and 5 million other members, and if you have not already, download the app and use the code LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. There you go. That's just another example of how Prize Picks helps you out. Use code LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy. One more time, you're listening to the Locked On Los Angeles YouTube channel, the Locked On Angels Postcast, and just the third time in 12 postcasts, the Angels win. And just the 8th time in 2024, the Angels win at home. We already told you about the stellar, surprising 9-inning pitching performance from Tyler Anderson, Hunter Strickland, and Carlos Estevez, thanks to a good job from Ron Washington. That's right. It's time for Ron's report card, and I think he got everything right in this one. We already talked about the pinch hit decision, bringing in Luis Guillerme for Kyron Paris. Probably an easy decision given how bad Kyron Paris has been hitting the ball. But that was not the only good decision made by Tyler Anderson in this, or made by Ron Washington in this one. He could have left Tyler Anderson in. And when he took him out, I actually thought he was going to leave Tyler Anderson in, because Ron Washington likes to go out and talk to his pitchers, even if and if he's not taking them out. We've seen it before. He likes to go out. I think everybody loves Ron Washington. I think the starting pitchers like it too. When they see him come out, I don't think they're thinking, oh man, here comes out Wash. They're thinking, all right, he's going to calm me down. And so in the top of the 7th inning, Tyler Anderson is starting to slow down for sure. He gives up a 1-out double to Kim, and then after getting a ground out, he walks Jose Azocar to have 2 on and 2 out. And on the radio broadcast, they're saying, hey, I think you leave him in. You let him finish out this inning. He's been great. 6 2/3, just 5 hits, just 1 earned run on a solo home run. I think you give him a chance to finish this one out, right? No. Ron Washington says, I'm going to take Tyler Anderson out. And he goes out to the mound. He talks to him. He looked like they were laughing about something, keeping things calm, and he decides to take Tyler Anderson out, put in Hunter Strickland, and Hunter Strickland gets the job done. The Padres bring in a lefty for the righty in Strickland in David Peralta. It's not like David Peralta is the David Peralta we know from maybe 2020, when he's certainly a lot better than he is right now. I think he's towards the tail end of his career. But with Strickland on the mound, he gets the pinch hit lefty out and gets out of the 7th and makes Ron Washington look genius. Makes him look genius. Then, despite maybe some people disagreeing with the decision, he trusts Carlos Estevez as the closer in the 9th inning, and Estevez makes it look easy. 1, 2, 3. So you got to give him, between the time he took out Tyler Anderson and it working out perfectly, trusting Estevez and it working out perfectly, and also the pinch hit decision with Luis Guillerme working out perfectly as the go-ahead game-winning RBI sac fly. 3 for 3 in terms of the key in-game decisions. So I'm giving Ron Washington an A+ in terms of the in-game decisions. Now, in terms of the pregame lineup, I'll be honest, I didn't love it. And it's not like he came through. Just looking at the lineup and what happened, we got Nolan Schanuel back. That's something I have not mentioned yet. He comes back after a couple games out with the thumb soreness, and he goes 0 for 4 at the top of the lineup. That's fine, it's in his first game back, whatever. Excuse me, I'm sniffling here. Still battling the cold. But just looking at the lineup, Schanuel, Renhefo, Ward, Calhoun, Ohapi. That's pretty standard, 1 through 5. That's what it's been against righties most of the time. Mickey Moniak, still don't know why he's hitting. I know there's not a lot of options between Moniak, Adell, and Pilar. Pilar is the guy that obviously is playing the best, but he's the guy that doesn't help you for the future. So, Moniak in at 6th. I did not love it. Surprise, surprise. He goes 0 for 2. He does nothing before eventually being pinch hit 4. But despite the lineup not being the best with Moniak, Adell, Neto, Paris, we've already talked about it so many times. Ron Washington, he's in a pickle. He's got an awful lineup to work with, regardless of what he picks. I'm still going to advocate for Pilar to be in there, build up that average, build up that trade value, and then trade him at the deadline. But even though it's probably a B lineup from Ron Washington, it is what it is, an A+ in terms of in-game decisions, and that's why I'm going to give Ron Washington an A. I'm going to give him an A. Anytime you can win a game with this Angels team and you didn't do it based on luck, I'm giving you an A. Shout out to everybody in here. Jesus says, let's go, with the beer emoji. Yeah, the Angels are going to party. Any Angels fans are going to party like they won the World Series because they actually won a game at home, snapping a 5-game losing streak. Jake says, thoughts on letting Morejon face Adell considering his splits? Estrada is dynamite. I mean, the Padres made many questionable decisions in this one. It's ironic I'm giving Ron Washington the A+. I think the Padres' whole staff, not only the third base coach we already talked about waving in, Profar getting thrown out by a mile. But yeah, I mean, it's no secret. Adell can only hit lefties. He can only hit lefties. It's no secret. So very questionable. But we'll take it. Angels fans will take it. LA Pro Sports fans saying, I'm appreciating every win. This was solid. Yes, I'm appreciating every win as well. Not many. Like I said, just the third in the history of the postcast. I know we're very young here on the Locked On Los Angeles YouTube channel in terms of the postcast, but it's been brutal, to be honest. It's been brutal. Just 3 wins to talk about now with this one. Just 2 coming into this one. So we will certainly celebrate it. We'll certainly talk about it as much as we can, not only when the postcast is going on, but I'm going to talk about it tomorrow, honestly. If tomorrow's game goes back to losses, we're going to try to talk about the win as much as possible. Also, of course, as always, make sure you listen to the Locked On Angels daily podcast with the Frisch Bros, the Super Halo Bros. They will talk about this win tomorrow. They certainly will, because they have not got to talk about many in 2024. Angels are still very much out of any contention. It's just 1 win. They're still 22-38. Still very much last in the AL West. They're still awful at home. Let's be honest. The home record now 8-21, but I don't care. You snap a 5-game skid. You beat a solid Padres team. You do what few have done, and that's limit the best hitting team on the road in all of baseball. And despite the Padres being on the road tonight, you shut them down. So this has been the Locked On Angels postcast. I don't even know. I feel like I blacked out during this show. I feel like I'm on caffeine or something. The adrenaline of an Angels win. I haven't had to deal with it much on the postcast, but tonight there was a win. And so I don't know. If I said something dumb, I don't even remember it, to be honest. I'm kind of off one right now. The Angels win a baseball game. The Angels are going to win the World Series. No, they're not. But shout out to everybody in here. A lot of people in here tonight because the Angels win 2-1. Tyler Anderson was great. Hunter Strickland was great. Even Carlos Estevez was great. Jo Adell even got a hit in clutch time. And the Angels pick up a 2-1 win to open up their home series against the San Diego Padres. I'm Gavin Carlson. I don't even know if I said that tonight because I'm so buzzed, but I'm Gavin Carlson. This was the Locked On Angels podcast. Angels win, Angels win, Angels win. And whether they win or lose tomorrow, I will be back here live on the Locked On Los Angeles YouTube channel. This was the Locked On Angels postcast. Go celebrate the rare Angels win, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Halo Nation, so long.